Good morning, I'm Brian Vish, and this is the Daily Dispatch. Today, we dive into ongoing union battles, economic shifts, and the latest political maneuvers that are shaping the American workforce. United Auto Workers is in chaos, and Shawn Fain is at the center of it. Federal monitor Neil Barofsky is accusing the UAW of stonewalling an investigation into Fain's latest purge, booting Secretary-Treasurer Margaret Mock and Vice President Rich Boyer. The reason? They wouldn't play ball with his financial decisions. Barofsky's reports describe a culture of fear inside the union, where 40% of the staff are afraid to speak up because they know what happens to people who cross Fain. And what happens is simple. You get erased. This is the guy who sold himself as the working class warrior, a man of the rank and file, here to rip out corruption by the roots. But now, he's running the union like a king, cutting off the heads of his own court. And while he's clearing house, he's also cozying up to Trump's trade war. Yeah, that's right. The same Shawn Fain who called Trump a billionaire scab now finds himself nodding along to the administration's 25% auto tariffs. In a stunning turn, Fain is backing Trump's efforts to slap steep levies on cars and parts, calling tariffs a step toward fixing the problem. And maybe he's right. Maybe tariffs could bring jobs back. But let's be honest. When has corporate America ever taken the hit? The cost of these tariffs isn't coming out of the CEO's pockets. It'll be passed down, like always, to the workers and the consumers. But Fain says if prices go up, blame the companies, not him. Meanwhile, United Steelworkers President David McCall is playing a different game. He's supporting Trump's crackdown on steel dumping, but drawing a clear line when it comes to Canada. Unlike Fain, who's making moves like a desperate man trying to hold his empire together, McCall actually understands that treating allies like enemies doesn't help workers. This is where it all gets messy, though. While Trump's trade war is being cheered by some labor leaders, his policies are a blunt instrument, one that risks cutting just as deep into American industry as it does foreign competitors. And while the auto industry braces for its impact, Fain is just in the fight for his life, and not just against Barofsky's investigation, but against the weight of his own decisions. He promised a new UAW, one that wouldn't sell out workers. The real question is, does Shawn Fain even believe that anymore? Meanwhile, Michigan is slapping a fresh coat of paint on its housing crisis and calling it a solution. The state just unveiled the Employer-Assisted Housing Fund, a $10 million corporate welfare experiment designed to let businesses dictate where workers live. Because apparently, the people who underpay you should also get to have a say in your housing. Announced at a Grand Rapids Chamber Love Fest, this initiative is supposedly Michigan's answer to the affordability disaster plaguing workers across the state. The deal? Employers willing to throw some pocket change at housing via cash, land, or cheap loans get state assistance to build affordable developments. In exchange, these projects have to remain affordable for a whopping 10 years for rentals or 5 years for home ownership, before, surprise, surprise, the market gets to jack up prices again. MSHDA CEO Amy Hoovey framed this as a collaborative effort between business and government. Translation? Corporations will milk public funds while workers pray their rent doesn't skyrocket a decade from now. Brian Calley, CEO of the Small Business Association of Michigan, praised the program as a way to attract and retain workers, while Josh Lunger of the Grand Rapids Chamber celebrated the sweet, sweet fusion of developers, business, and government, the holy trinity of keeping wages down while pretending to help. Meanwhile, actual housing advocates aren't buying it. This isn't a solution, it's a band-aid on a gushing wound. Rents are climbing, real estate speculation is rampant, and landlords still hold all the power. The biggest beneficiaries of this program? Employers who now get to pose as saviors while keeping workers tethered to them for housing. And let's talk about the affordability period. After 10 years, those affordable rentals get a one-way ticket to luxury pricing, and home ownership projects lose their price protections after 5 years. If a company decides not to play ball, tough luck. There's no mandate, just a please and thank you approach to corporate generosity. Applications opened February 24th and are first come, first serve, which is exactly how housing in America already works. Whoever gets there first wins. More details can be found on MASHDA's website if you're feeling optimistic enough to believe this will change anything. That's it for the Daily Dispatch today. Eyes open, voices loud.